Today we look at Anwar's Ekonomi Madani plan. We do not own any shares mentioned on the slide, and if you need financial advice, this is not the place. Go speak to a professional. Now guys, we have an upcoming deep dive special premium session just for you. It will be happening on the 14th of August and the early bird pricing has already begun, which will end on the 10th of August midnight. So quickly head over to the comment section or the description to grab yourself a seat. Alright, so let's head on into this Ekonomi Madani. I think this is kind of like the major announcement that happened over the past week. Anwar has detailed out in a very long speech. I think it was like an hour, almost 2 hour live stream on YouTube about his vision of the economy and what are some of the stats, what are some of the short-term, long-term and medium-term objectives that he wants to achieve for Malaysia. And he called it Madani. That's why they call it the Madani argument. So I think number one is that there's this 6.11 billion spending in general.
Yeah.
For specifically the Rakyat?
Yes, Rakyat and also the economy infrastructure, the startups, everything lah.
Yeah.
It's basically, But I think this is not like your big budget. It's more like a small immediate goals for them to track lah.
This is where they have the 100 ringgit in your touch and go.
Yeah, right? If you are earning below 100k, then you get this 100 ringgit e-wallet. But anyway, since this is more on like a stocks market channel, so we're going to talk about a little bit on the economy and what are the beneficiary or companies that will benefit from this Madani. So economy wise, there's a few interesting things that I have actually read through and highlighted. So number one is that there will be a tax incentive based on achievement. Now this is very general. I'm not sure which particular sector is this. I'm guessing it's going to be related to the tech sector or something else. If let's say they have managed to bring in more, basically just improve the GDP in the country, then maybe they'll be introducing more this kind of tax incentive. But so far, there's still not clear policy on about this. They also did mention a little bit about the FDI. So a few names that pop up: Sumitomo, Tesla, Rongseng, and Samsung Energy. If you actually Google this in the age, right, you see like some companies actually have been handling projects related to some of these companies. So for example, like Samsung Engineering, I think recently they just collab with KKB, if I'm not mistaken, on this hydro.
This is a construction company in Malaysia, right?
Yes,
KKB
correct.
Engineering.
Yes. So they're going to be doing something like that. And then Sumitomo also is collaborating with someone else. Then Tesla, there is Genetec, as well as those EV charging stations. All of these construction related parties will be working with them. Then Rongseng is another thing lah. Then they also did mention that they're going to be spending about 100 million to improve the infrastructure in those green focused industry area. So he mentioned like there's two states, one is Terengganu and one is Kedah. Kedah is in the Kulim. Terengganu, I'm not too sure, but then they just want to make it easier for workers to access around that industrial area. And then they also did mention that they want to build more Aerodyne and less Copec alike companies. Aerodyne is like they use those drones to collect data from the aerial view of like those landscape and all those kind of stuff. Less Copec is pretty interesting because that is your Upin and Ipin.
Oh really?
It's a media company. It's a media company.
Okay.
Upin and Ipin. And then I also found out that there's a few more cartoon that I never seen before. Maybe because they didn't market it properly. But then Upin and Ipin is when I see that, it's like, so this company does that media kind of business. So they're trying to build more this kind of startups kind of business. And then they're also going to spend 20 million on esports. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of like events going on esports. You can see Dota. There's now Valorant is pretty interesting right now. So they kind of want to follow the trend as well on this kind of industry. They're going to be spending 200 million on tech farming, basically just improving the farming strategy, imposing some tech and automation for them to be more efficient.
Right?
Yes, that's for education. Yes, correct. And then they also did mention these two things, which is renewable energy related. One is solar panel on government's building, and then another one is more on government tech Malaysia. So basically, I think that's like your app to pay maybe your bills better, or pay your tax better. I believe now like CIMB did collab with LHDM where you can actually pay your tax using CIMB platform. But I'm not sure how. I didn't, because it's quite a recent thing. I never really like dig through deep enough. But if you guys did try out, please do let me know in the comments down below.
But guys, before we move on, if you're someone looking to level up their stock investing skills and you need a lot more guidance, we do have a one-on-one program called the Mentorship Program. If you're interested, you can apply it in the comment section or the description.
Okay, so now this is welfare. Welfare, I very generally, I generalize everything. So number one is they give a lot of money to citizens,
so
obviously.
There's 100 ringgit touch and go.
And also there's a few more money to the retirees and all the stuff. Basically, just money giving out to citizens. They also gonna be introducing this thing called the progressive wage model, which is basically when you reach every certain stage, they will start to increase the minimum wage, so to speak. And then there's also this tiered foreign worker levies. Basically, I think they are going to like charge some sort of like tax or tariff on these foreign workers, and then the money that is being tax they collected is going to be poured down to this automation project and also local worker training, which is pretty interesting that now they're imposing this. And then the last one is also pretty, I would say it's a very kind of like crucial thing, because they're going to be introducing this 15% tax rate to these skilled workers and companies that specifically work in Iskandar, Malaysia, Johor. So they're trying to pour more talent into this Iskandar Johor side of things. And then, which is why also you see like companies, few of these developers, King Seng, UEM Sunrise, and also Iskandar Waterfront City Berhad, they all have been up after like 1 month after the announcement of this Madani. So if you notice, right, UEM Sunrise actually rose like 96%.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So actually inside,
because this is from May, right?
Yes. So I think people kind of know a little bit about the government's plan already, which is to like boost the property development in Johor.
About time, yeah.
Yes. And so for stocks wise, there's two things only. One is they want to smoothen the process for companies to transition from ACE to main. I think now there is a lot of like paperwork to be done,
right? And
then the process is also very lengthy, if I'm not mistaken. You have to go through a different kind of like middlemans and a lot of paperwork in order to go into main market. So right now they try to smoothen this so that to encourage more companies to actually list in Bursa. And the next one is pretty interesting, which is fractional shares. Yeah. So this one, I'm not sure if let's say they introduce these fractional shares, whether companies will still do bonus issue or not. Yeah.
We don't know, but I guess it's slightly better. But if you look at a lot of our companies, they're already 12 cents, 30 cents, less than 1 ringgit.
Yeah, I think this one is more targeting like companies like Nestle, or like those very expensive amount of money.
Which applies to maybe 5 companies: Nestle,
Panasonic, Panami,
Dutch Lady,
Heineken. Yeah.
Which, I mean, okay lah, it's I think these are minimal changes. And if you look at the transition, I mean, automatic from ACE to main, okay. If you ask me, leap to ACE is a much bigger, much better transition. Because of the number of companies that right now many people cannot invest in leap company because of certain regulations. And if they remove that barrier, that would be fantastic.
Yes, correct. I think you need to have like a 250,000 like cash on hand to invest in leap market.
No. The 2 rules are, you must have the first criteria, and you don't have to meet both criteria. You need to meet one. So either or. The first is 300,000 of annual income.
Okay.
A year. I'm not sure if they revised it, but last I checked, 300,000. And then either that or you have 3 million in net assets, excluding your primary residence. So your house that you stay in doesn't count.
Right.
Everything else, your shares, your company, your property value, so that if it's above the amount, then no problem.
Okay. That's interesting.
Alright guys, enjoying the video so far? If the answer is yes, Remember, like, comment, subscribe. And as far as comments go, if you don't like the video, do let us know as well. We always take all sorts of feedback as long as they're constructive.
Okay, the next one is on property. So they introduced this thing called the Scheme Jaminan Kredit Perumahan, SJKP. So this one is very interesting because it's trying to target the B40 to encourage them to own more homes. Not own more homes, own homes at least, because they're going to giving out like 120% loan margin for houses.
How do you do that? Do you mean you give more loans than the property value? So like you give a loan of 360,000 for a 300k house?
Yeah, I think this is to help them pay the legal fees and everything. Maybe even like stamp duty, MOT, because there's like all those kind of fees that generally people cannot pay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, or maybe even down payment and everything lah.
But then their installment is gonna skyrocket, right?
I mean,
at 300,000, a 300,000 house is probably
maybe 1,000, around there.
Installments.
Yeah.
So now if you add on another 20%, you are looking at 1.6, 1.7 per month repayment for a 300k house. And I assume these 300k houses are like prima housing, so the capital gain is not as fast. So I'm not even sure. Wow, so basically they're buying the house for free.
Essentially.
With zero capital.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the government will guarantee up to 5 billion.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a lot. 300,000 divided by 5 billion, that's like how many? Like maybe 1,008 houses. Right?
Right? But then so this one is more on people I believe is like hardcore poor or maybe even to poor kind of category. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't allow like all those M40 or even T20 to like touch this.
My honest opinion is if you're hardcore poor, the focus should not be owning a home. It should be getting your income up and saving money and all that.
Yeah, but
it doesn't really solve, for me, it doesn't really solve much.
Yep, exactly. But this is just like part of the initiative of Madani, just to help them to ease the buying property kind of like threshold barrier. Okay, so the comments is that actually not much because it's a very short kind of like a policy only. But what we expect maybe, this is what I think is maybe there will be more company to be listing in the ACE market, since it's going to be much more easier to help them to climb into main, if assuming they manage to like hit those targets in order to become the main board. The second one, which is pretty interesting, which is the 120% property loan margin. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who will be want to apply for this sort of scheme in order to own a home. But then I'm not sure whether would they still continue to do this kind of like over leverage kind of like property ownership scheme. But yeah, this is actually the first time I'm actually seeing government offering up to 120% loan. And the last one is basically just green tech. Right now, I think there's also another policy which is called the National Energy cannot remember what's the PNEP. So they are trying to introduce more of these renewable energy, and that will be in our next video, which is going to be talking a little bit more on the renewable energy sector. So actually that's just pretty much what I can get or my takeaways from this Ekonomi Madani briefing. But what about you? I don't think the full list is even out yet, right? There's more to be announced. I don't think this is it. I mean like a 1 to 2 hour session cannot really talk a lot also lah. So and yes, I can see it's very rakyat focused, but when I look at it, do we see that much growing the pie? I guess Ming, Terengganu, Kedah, okay, it's only FDI. How about this tax incentive based on achievement? It's that one needs more clarity.
Which they didn't give. Okay.
It's a very generous statement.
Anyway, guys, so before we end, just a reminder of the session that we're doing on the 14th of August. Hope to see you there. The second thing is that FIRL Pro. This is our program designed to help you shortcut your research journey to find decent investments, hopefully. And we do reports 2 to 3 times a month. We give it to you. Shortcuts your journey by 90%. Takes you only 15 minutes to read each report. This is the performance so far. I think we're up 20%.
19% for FIRL
nearly
Pro.
20%.
Yeah.
Pretty decent so far in the span of 10 months. And if you're interested in checking out, the links are in the comments and the description. If you want a taste of it, you're not sure whether you want to commit, go head over to our free sample section, download and enroll for free to check things out. And guys, to let you know as well, if you sign up for the program and within 10 days you feel like, after you paid the money, you feel like it's not really for you, that there are things out there that you better spending your money on, just send us an email. We'll give you a full refund. No questions asked, except maybe just to get a sense of why you want to refund. And guys, thanks for staying all the way until the end as usual. Thanks for the support, whether or not you sign up on FIRL Pro. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.